Tonight at 6, senior center shooting. A man shot dead by police in Northern Virginia. The suspect related to a family member there. We're live with the latest. Without a home, over 24 people displaced after fire tore through an apartment building. We'll tell you just how widespread the damage caused as the Red Cross steps in.
Now we've had some heavier thunder showers and storms around with some thunder and lightning, but so far everything has been below severe limits. Will that continue going throughout the evening? I'll talk about that and show you the latest radar coming up.
Laid to rest, Pope Francis' funeral drawing massive crowds to Vatican City to pay their respects. The service also a backdrop for high-stakes meetings with President Trump. And we're saving you cash, from buying a new car to purchasing clothes for your kids, even decorating your home. We found several ways to stretch your dollar.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good Saturday evening. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 6 o'clock. I'm Ben Dennis. 6 o'clock on the dot. Over to meteorologist Scott Semner. Scott, had a little time off last weekend. Good to see you, my friend. I know you are tracking a little bit of storms that swept through today.
Yeah, those clouds look a little ominous there, but all the activities to the south and the east of the district, I think DC is going to be fine this evening. We do have a storm that could be close to being potentially severe here, though it has not been warned. It's moving to the east at 39 miles an hour down around the Stafford area and over towards Holly Corner region. Now, again, it is about 25,000 foot tops there, and the hail size, well, the hail size has been fairly small, but there is potential in some of those shades of purple where you see on the map with the colors. Well, some of those purple shades of color could contain some hail or a little bit of gusty wind, to say the least. And these storms here are, again, below severe limits as they continue to push off into the Chesapeake Bay at this point and time. A wider view shows where the active weather was and is currently up to this point in time. And again, really only major cells are the one down in Spotsylvania County and Stafford County, and then these rain showers moving across Calvert as well as Anne Arundel County. We'll put this future radar over the next 2 hours into motion, and the storms that are by Stafford and Fredericksburg and I-95 will continue to push eastbound towards the Lexington Park area between now and about 7, 8 o'clock this evening. So expect a few more showers and storms along St. Mary's County, but then it'll all wrap up by the middle of the evening. Back to you, Ben.
All right, Scott. Here's some breaking news. A man suffered serious injuries to his face after 2 dogs reportedly attacked him. Police in Prince George's County, Maryland, say they rushed to Walters Lane in District Heights near Pennsylvania Avenue just after 10:30 this morning. They say one of the dogs rushed toward an officer who fired their gun, killing the dog. The man who was attacked sent to the hospital. We're also told another officer was driving toward the scene when their cruiser was hit by another vehicle at the intersection there. That officer was hurt and has since been released from the hospital. Your top story tonight, we begin with concerning developments in Northern Virginia, starting in Prince William County. Police say a man was shot dead by officers inside a senior living facility after reportedly targeting an elderly relative this morning. 2 police officers are on leave tonight after the ordeal in Woodbridge. That's where we find DC News Now's Dave Laval. He's live from Westminster at Lake Ridge Senior Living Home. Dave, what do we know?
Investigators say the 2 officers shot the man after he is said to have approached them with a knife and refused orders to drop the weapon. The unidentified 26-year-old, according to investigators, survived and then attacked a 91-year-old relative with the knife. Officers fired more rounds at the suspect. He died at the scene. The victim was flown to the hospital, where we're told she is expected to survive. The 2 officers did not suffer any injuries. Police originally responded to the home as the suspect suffered some sort of crisis but did not elaborate. The Regional Critical Incident Response Team is overseeing the investigation and will determine if the officers acted appropriately. And as you heard earlier, those officers remain on administrative leave pending the results of that investigation. We're live in Woodbridge, Virginia. Dave Laval, DC News Now.
Oh, thanks to Dave. Some concerning stuff there. New details tonight. A man is fighting for his life after a shooting in Fairfax County. Another man is in custody. This all happened this morning around 9 on Woodland Lane, just north of Mount Vernon. Police believe the suspect shot the victim during a dispute, they say, but it's unclear if they knew each other. Still no word on who exactly that suspect is. Meantime, a short distance away, 25 people are without a home after a fire tore through an Alexandria apartment building. The fire broke out at Sheffield Court just off of Sanger Avenue near 395. Firefighters say they found heavy flames coming from a top floor apartment and spread quickly to the attic. We're told part of Sanger Avenue was closed for a time. Still no word how that fire broke out. The Red Cross is helping those 25 folks from 10 different apartments who are without a home. Time is 6:05. A live, solemn look at Vatican City. Hundreds of thousands of people gathered in St. Peter's Square earlier today for the funeral of Pope Francis. Dina Baer with our sister station from Chicago, though she has been reporting in Rome for several days, reports on how mourners said goodbye for the last time.
A humble man, a well-loved pope, and a simple service here at St. Peter's Square. In this week of mourning, public viewing, and a funeral, the focus was on Pope Francis. Now, the shift is toward the election of a new pope. In a 2-hour ceremony, a mix of Italian, Latin, and English,
Papa Francesco.
The formal mass was peppered with the simplicities of Pope Francis, including a gospel that spoke of feeding the sheep, much like he wanted people to feed the poor.
You don't have to be rich and wealthy and have always the nicest stuff.
In addition to the faithful, priests, church leaders, 130 world leaders and reigning monarchs paid their respects, including President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who had a meeting before the service at St. Peter's Basilica. Could this holy place, amid Pope Francis' final message of peace, make a difference?
I think it's a beautiful thing that they met today, and we can hope that it makes a difference.
After tipping the casket toward the crowd to cheers, the pallbearers carried the Pope's body inside the basilica and onto a makeshift Pope-mobile on a pickup truck for his final journey through Rome to St. Mary Major, the very place he visited the first day of his pontificate, where he was lowered into the ground Saturday. Unlike the ornate burial spaces for the 9 popes entombed at St. Mary Major, Pope Francis was lowered into the ground per his wishes with a simple cross and the name Franciscus.
It was very beautiful.
There's no rest for the cardinals now. They must meet to decide a conclave date and then go into conclave to elect a new pope. The earliest that could happen is 15 days after the pope's death, so May 5th. But first, the mourning process. 9 more days of masses here at St. Peter's Basilica to pray for the soul of Pope Francis. At St. Peter's Square, I'm Dina Baer.
Well, thanks to Dina. All right, back here at home, some developing news. World Pride organizers say the Kennedy Center canceled a week's worth of events in June. Several artists and producers involved with the Tapestry of Pride schedule say their events were quietly canceled or moved to other venues. There have been massive changes at the Kennedy Center since President Trump replaced most of the board with loyalists and made himself the new chair. The Kennedy Center, meantime, did not respond to a request for comment. In Maryland, a student is facing charges for bringing a knife to a Charles County school. Authorities say a school staff member at Thomas Stone High saw that student with this knife yesterday and was able to take it from them without any issues. Officials say the student is facing charges as well as school discipline. This is the 3rd incident involving a weapon on campus in recent weeks. The Charles County Superintendent is therefore inviting parents to a meeting on Monday to address safety concerns. And it is a scramble for so many parents in Northeast D.C. They have just learned they've got to find school for their new children in the fall. The board at Hope Community Charter School recently voting to close in June. Our Randy Bass has more on what led up to that sudden shutdown.
Staff and parents we talked to here say they blame mismanagement and poor leadership for the sudden closure of Hope Community Public Charter School here in Northeast. But the board last night, they said the decision to close was not an easy one.
I'm hurt behind it, man. Now I got to find a place to put them back in school and find somewhere close by.
Just under 200 students in pre-K through 8th grade attend school here at Hope Community Public Charter School in Northeast, including Albert Jones kindergartners, AJ and PJ, who say they feel safe here.
This school is nice. This school don't got no shooting, and this school don't got no violence. I would think this is a good neighborhood.
Families were given letters Friday letting them know about plans to close the school. And Jones says he needs to find another safe space to send his boys to school.
I got to try to find out what I'm going to do.
Thursday night, the school's board officially voted to shut the school's doors at the end of the academic year this June.
It has not been easy by any means. The gravity of the decisions before us and the impact they carry for students, families, and our staff is something we have not taken lightly.
Board Chair Carrie Smith cited a number of reasons for the closure during Thursday night's meeting, including a poor outlook on enrollment and future test scores, with the school not likely to meet academic benchmarks needed in order to stay open. Students we talked to say they had a good learning experience inside the school's blue and green walls.
I was surprised because this school had been here for so many years, and it was a nice school. Everybody grew up and go to college because of this school.
In that letter sent home to families today, they were urged to prepare for an enrollment fair here at the school next week to help families find new schools for their students for next year. That is set for next Tuesday. In Northeast, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.
All right, thanks to Randy. Looking ahead, you can expect some road closures starting early tomorrow morning in Alexandria. The PNC Half Marathon is happening. Those closures start at 2 a.m. tomorrow morning, including the 200 to 400 blocks of the very popular King Street and 100 blocks of South and North Royal Streets. Streets will close by 6 a.m. and shut down until the end of the race around noon. The course begins at Market Square at 7 a.m. and extends through Old Town. For more on those road closures, go to DCNewsNow.com. All right, commuters, heads up for families in Maryland. First responders in Montgomery County and Metro, they'll be running emergency drills tomorrow. Officials say they're having a full-scale, real-life emergency simulation at the Grosvenor station. So you may notice first responders rushing to the scene, but let's be clear, it's just an exercise. The station is partially closed this weekend for work on the Red Line. Meantime, free shuttle service will replace the trains. Coming up, plenty of ground to cover. We're stretching your dollar if you're in the market to buy a car. Get some expert tips after the break, but we've got additional updates as well. One, on the civil rights artifacts reportedly being taken out of the African American History Museum. Well, now the Smithsonian is responding. We're taking a live look right now, 612 at Roslyn, Virginia. A little bit breezy. Scott is tracking the remainder of those storms headed out over the coast. Stick around. We'll coast right back in a few minutes.